Still in bed, y'all. I did get up earlier, but then I was like, I need to lay down. I'm so exhausted. I'm so sorry. I just
Yo, yo, what up, people? This is Wholesale Hard Knocks, where we talk everything real estate. We're talking mindset, we're talking systems, we're talking sales, conversions, any and everything you could think about. It's me, Mike Gomes, and my homie Daryl.
Wholesale Hard Knocks is the #1 podcast for real estate investors. It doesn't matter if you've done 0 deals or 50 deals. Me and Mike will be here every single Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, dropping bombs for every level of investor to learn something. Don't forget to like and subscribe to both of our channels below. Make sure you're partying in the comments. Don't forget to squat up, take notes, and enjoy the show.
Yes.
Yo, we here, bro. We missed a week. We're a little late today.
It's all good.
So sorry about that, but we here, Wholesale Hard Knocks, episode 3. We got a special guest today, contract call. We got a good show for y'all. We got a good show for y'all coming up. But first, Mike, what's up, bro? You want to tell everybody about how your week was last week? Your weekend, like what? You do anything special, man? What was going on?
So we went out. Me and Daryl were out in Vegas, partying like freaking rock stars. Nah, just playing. But we were at a real estate conference over the weekend last weekend, and for me, bro, it was a powerful weekend. Some big takeaways. Let me think about it. You know what I was doing, bro?
What's that?
I was really analyzing all the speakers and influencers that were speaking, more so of how they're pretty much just talking and how they're portraying their message. That's the biggest thing that I got of it. How, like, for example, how is Pace moving on stage? How is he interacting with the crowd? How is everybody getting their message forward? That was the biggest thing that I really got from it. But
that's actually big, bro. That was a thought that I had as well. I was thinking like I texted Mamadou, right? Because I know he's in you ever heard of Toastmasters? It's like a public speaking like group. It teaches you how to get into public speaking and perfect that craft and stuff like that. And I texted him about it and asked him like what was it about. So I was actually thinking about joining that after Clever. So I had that same takeaway, bro. Definitely had that same takeaway.
Great minds think alike. Also seeing everybody. So pretty much for anybody that's listening that isn't in sub 2 or doesn't even know who Pace is, which you probably live under a rock if you don't. But essentially Pace's whole entire mentorship, like probably a quarter of his students were at the summit that we were at. And it was dope to see everybody face to face because a lot of these people, even Daryl, this is the first time that I met Daryl face to face in Vegas. We're talking to each other through Zooms over the past year, and we finally get in close proximity with each other and meet each other face to face. It's a little bit different feeling, Like once you have this proximity to people, it's different. Especially with high level people like Daryl. Like, you just feel the energy. It's a different type of energy getting connected with people in person.
Different, bro. Different. And like I left there so focused, so in tune with what I need to do, bro. And like the main thing, like we need to figure out how to make money matter, bro. We gotta figure it out. We're not even figure it out, but we got to do it, right? We gotta make money matter and bring as many people along with us as we can. But yeah, I don't want to stay on Clever too long. We have the amazing contract call with us, Colleen Gallagher, Killer Call. What's going on, Colleen?
Hey, what's going on? I definitely want to say, I know you want to get away from Clever, but that energy looked amazing. And I'd be lying if I said that I haven't thought about maybe coming to that Pace Morby sub 2 side. It looks pretty lit over there, y'all.
Come through.
I think I got to. Daryl has me so intrigued about sub 2. Like I already knew about it, but listening to him talk about it on live the other day, it's just wow, amazing. So I'm very intrigued, and that energy is top notch, and it has to be an amazing feeling to be in a room filled with masterminds, right? That energy is just unexplainable. So I
Colleen,
definitely,
we barely know each other, but just like behind the scenes, we were just talking for 2 minutes. I could tell that sub two needs you.
oh,
Like you are definitely a type of person that is meant to be in this mentorship because there are sub two does attract a certain type of person, and also people get weeded out that don't belong. But
right.
I could tell just from our 2 minute conversation that um, you're a go giver.
So what you waiting on, Colleen?
Well, thank you so much. I think I am going to come over to that side. A friend of mine, Kristen, she's a part of that fam, and it's yeah. I need to get there. It's like stepping my game up, right? I'm at basic level wholesaling. I'm great at it, but sub two is like the big dog. Sub two is the next level, and I want to be with the big dog. So I definitely will be coming over to that side. Not maybe. I will. So yeah, I look forward to
Like I
that.
was saying when I was on your live the other day, pretty soon, like if you don't know how to buy houses without a bank, you ain't gonna be buying no houses.
Yeah,
It's not only it's essential, I would say at this point. Like
right.
Yeah, bro. I mean, what me and you were looking at buying a deal yesterday, and we're looking at the interest rate. Like, damn, oh, bro, this kind of kills our deal.
right, it definitely kills our deal, bro. Like it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say definitely. It kind of kills our deal, but we'll see if we could work some magic around it. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy these days. Even with Airbnb, like right. So imagine if we're not even talking traditional rentals, cash flowing 300, 400 bucks a month. We're talking about Airbnbs. This thing was gonna make what, Mike? 110 bucks, 110,000 a year.
Yeah, Daryl analyzed it at $110,000 revenue a year, and after what we would do for this particular property, we would get a 75% loan, right? And that loan is based off the interest rates that are the going rate right now. And I think what do we look at? What was the interest rate? Like 6 or something? That would have killed our deal, even though we would have made $110,000 a year. Like that's
Crazy. So, Colleen, I'm
Yeah.
so interested in your story. Like you're one of my favorite people that I follow on Instagram. Like you're always posting, and I feel like I know a lot of your story just from looking at your posts, which means you're doing a great job. So I just want to talk to you like one on one, figure out like how'd you get started in real estate?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that because I admire you so much. I'm always looking at your posts and I see how consistent you are. And you could just tell when somebody has it, right? And I'm not talking about money or cars or none of that stupid shit. I'm talking about it. Like you're just different. You're set apart from everybody else. And I know that you have it. I got it. Mike's probably got it. Like, it's a good feeling. But I love following you. For me, for real estate, I wanted to get into real estate forever. Actually, when I was younger in my wild 20s and I'm in my 30s. I'm acting like I'm 75. But when I was younger, I ran my own business. I actually ran an escort agency that was making 6 figures a year by the time I was 21. So I had, everything I needed, but I always wanted to be in real estate. So I actually went to a real estate place, Dunphy Sales, and I took their course. And then the day of the test, I overslept. And I should have like immediately followed up with that, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay focused on this. And then fast forward to about 3, 4 years ago, I just kept saying like, we need real estate. If we don't own any properties, I don't want to be, I just want to be wealthy. I want to be financially secure. I want my son to have everything and anything his heart desires. And I just want to have a certain life for my family. So I know that real estate could give me that life. So I started looking at sheriff sales first. So I would go to the sheriff sale every month in Philly and I would constantly get outbid. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give up because I think at that time I only had about $10,000 saved. But I was like, I'm going to buy something with this 10K. But as I was getting outbid, I was saving more and more. And eventually my bid got accepted. I didn't know what I was winning. I was just so I was so excited. Normally I did my research on each address and I picked which ones I wanted to bid on. But on this particular auction, I kept getting outbid and I was like, fuck that. Excuse my language. Am I allowed to curse? Um,
You
I'm
good?
not I'm not leaving this bitch without something. I'm staying right here. So it was the last property they put up and I was bidding on it. I had no idea what it was and I won it for $3,500. I'm thinking I want a house, right? I'm on top of the world. I'm like, oh my God, I just want a house. I can't believe this. So they give me the address. I drive out there. It's a vacant lot. I was like, oh shit, damn. I'm like, but you know what? I'm going to do something with this. So I had to wait the 9 months, right, of redemption to be up because during that 9 months, the prior owner could come back, pay their taxes. They can actually get their property back. They would have to pay you any money you put out. But so I waited the 9 months and then I tried to sell it with the realtor. The realtor wanted, I wanted to sell it for 15K. The realtor was going to take $4,000. So I was only going to be left with 11. So I was like, I don't know about that. So around that time, I took Mitt's course at Mitt 215. So I'm learning about the wholesaling stuff. I wasn't all the way locked in just yet because I had a lot of stuff going on. I was taking care of my grandmother. She passed away, but at that time it was really difficult. She had dementia. And but I learned like, hey, I could sell this lot myself. So I listed it on Facebook Marketplace. It sold in a day. And I sold it for 15,000. I got to keep that whole amount, no realtor fees. So I was like, oh, this is something right here. Right. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm locked in. I'm going to pay attention to everything. Go through the course again. I have ADHD. It took me like 4 times to watch the course before I could really figure it out. I struggled with uploading the list and all that stuff. But I finally got it, sent out my first text campaign, and I got that first deal. Took me 2 months to dispo it. Price was way too high. Learning lesson, right? Gave the seller way more than I should, but finally got that gone 2 months later. But during that 2 months time, I was like, I still have money left over from what I saved. I want to buy some more real estate. So I saw Mitt post on his story a property for 15,000. I can't find anything like that in Philly. Like I've been looking for years in Philly, just everything was out of my price range and I was not trying to go the loan way. Like now I know different, like, yes, there's nothing wrong with, credit cards or loans. But before I had the mentality of, I don't want to owe anybody shit. So I'm going to do this the debt-free way. So I bought that property from Mitt, talked him down to 13.5, started looking in that neighborhood, driving for dollars, wrote a couple letters to some sellers, got a seller to agree to $2,000 on a property right behind the one I had just bought. And then immediately after that, a wholesaler in my class, Mitt's class, had a property for 6K in the same area. So I was like, oh, I'm taking that. Yeah, so I got all 3 properties pretty fast. The one for 2K ended up just getting 10K for that, not having to touch it. The same one with the 6K one, it just needed an extensive rehab. So I was like, you know what, just put it for 10, just get it gone. So I kind of regret that now because I'm like, you bitch, you should have hung out and stuck it out and worked on that property because now the values are going up. But back to wholesaling, then I was just after I got that first wholesale check. Who was nervous cashing their first check? I was so nervous. I was like, is this a scam? Is that like I was in the bank like waiting for the cops to get me. I was like, oh no, I don't know. Is this real? Like, how is this possible? I just made, I only made 1,500 off that deal, but I was like, I sent one text message. I sent one text message and a lady was like, yeah, let's do business. And I put that property on the marketplace and now I'm making $1,500. Like it was surreal to me. I didn't believe it, but the check cashed. I was shocked. It cashed. And then I went on to my next deal, which was the JV deal. And then the deal after that was a property where I sent a text message because I want to share with you all. I have a lot of phone experience. I've been a telemarketer since I was 17. I was in group homes, foster care, and I would work because, I needed money. So I would do a lot of telemarketing things, and I was always a top performer at whatever company I went to. But with wholesaling, I didn't feel qualified to get on the phones. I felt like they're going to ask something I don't know. I just felt more comfortable with text messages at first. So the third deal was one of my favorite deals. I shoot a text. Hey, have you thought about selling? I picked a weird little area near Pittsburgh. I just was searching on that PropStream map. I love PropStream. I'm up there on there all hours of the night like a weirdo, zooming in. I'm in everybody's business. Oh, they owe how much? Interesting. So I sent a text out, hey, do you want to sell? They said, you can have it. And I'm like, I can have it. They're like, yeah, I don't want anything. Take it out of my name. And I'm like, what? So I sent a contract for $1. They sign. And then they say to me, well, there's 40K in back taxes. And I'm like, oh, but I've learned that it could still work. So I advertised the property for 50,000 on the marketplace. In an hour, it sold. So at that point, like I was already locked in, but once that happened and I got 10K off of, that text message where it was so low maintenance. You know how some sellers require a little more maintenance and a reassuring or just a little more work. This guy never even wanted to get on the phone with me. And I closed that out, made 10K. At that point, I was like, you know what? I'm locked all the way. This is going to be my new thing, my everything. And I got the virtual assistants. And then from there, it was just up from there. We just went crazy. I was looking in markets that other people weren't in. I was like, you know what? Nobody's paying attention to Flint. Let me look in the Flint area. We started cold calling Flint. It was so easy because of that water situation. I don't think a lot of wholesalers were looking at Flint, but I knew that there were still properties there, right? There's still sellers there that have to pay taxes on these properties. They have that motivation, especially if they're sitting vacant. So I locked up a lot of deals in Flint. Just for instance, a tenant occupied one, good cash paying tenant for 13K. But when I would advertise these Flint properties in Flint, I would get laughed at. The Flint residents would be like, are you crazy? You should pay me for that. So I thought to myself, who would, want something this cheap, right? There's got to be people out there that will want this. And I thought about how I couldn't find anything for years in Philly, right? I was checking, everything was too high. So I started pushing those properties in New York and Philly, and New York buyers would jump right on it because they didn't have properties under 20K. So when they would see something like that, they didn't even need to actually go see the property. They were just like, I'll take it. We're sending contracts and wiring instructions, and that's it. And then, yeah, it was really nice.
That's genius. No, but the reason why I say that is because I have a bunch of homies out here who are buyers,
Mm,
and they're like, the Boston market's crazy
yeah,
and it's super expensive, and they see markets like Detroit in these very low income areas where the properties are like 20, 30, 40 grand. And we're looking at these things like, what the heck? Like would buy 10 houses a week.
right.
I wanted to go ahead, Mike. You were still talking? My bad.
Yeah. So like that's genius going into one of those markets and sending those deals to somebody else. Cause I mean, everybody's virtual now.
100%.
Yeah.
I wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
bring it back a whole lot, like where you first started, right? So we have a lot of viewers on here that a lot of them are new as well. So we have seasoned investors and newer investors. You said you started off with a share of sales. What can you explain what share of sales are?
Oh, share sales, yes. So they're auctions. I'm not sure if every major city has them, but I know Philadelphia does. And it used to be in person, and I love that. And actually, when I would show up to these sheriff sales, I didn't realize it, but there would always be wholesalers outside with packets filled with their deals, and they would be passing them out to us. And I was like, who are these people? But you go into there. These are properties that the city has taken over. maybe they owed too much in back taxes, I would go to the tax delinquent sale because there were three different ones. I think one had something to do with mortgages, and then one was taxes. I forget what the third one was, but I would show up to those tax delinquent ones, and they would list on their site what properties will be at that sheriff sale. It's once a month. It was on a Wednesday. I think it was the first Wednesday of every month. And before the sale, I would go onto the site, and let's say they had 300 properties on there. I would look through each one and I would write down the ones that I was interested in. You have to write down the book and writ number. That's how you identify the properties at the auction. And I would actually drive to each one of these properties. I mean, I'm glad gas prices weren't that crazy then, because man, I was driving all over the city, and this was going on for months with no luck. But you have to do your own due diligence. You got to go out to these properties because they might be squatter occupied. I actually had to take a little class before attending the sheriff's sale from the sheriff. It was like a room full of people, and he explained, how the process works when you bid on the properties. You only need 10%, so you have to bring a cashier's check. It has to be 10%. You don't know how much you're going to bid, but if I knew that I only had 10,000 to play with, I would bring a check for 1,500 or $1,000. So you have to have, so you have that cashier's check. You bid, your bid wins. You go out with your cashier's check. You give them your LLC information if you're putting in the LLC name, or your personal information. And then you have 30 days from that point to pay the remaining balance. You can work on the property once you purchase it, but I recommend to not do that. I recommend wait the 9 months, only because what if you start putting work into it, and that seller comes back and they pay what they owe, and then it's kind of like, they say they'll pay you back everything, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. So I like to wait the 9 months, but I just bought that one from there. I've been looking online. I hate that it's online now because of COVID. I really wish that I could still go in person. I hope they open back up in person, because I'll be there with my list of properties now that I know what they were doing.
Right.
Yeah, but I love anybody thinking about buying through an auction. It's incredible. It's a really great feeling. It's exciting. The energy is awesome. Even online, they have so many. If you go to bidforassets.com, bid and the number 4 assets.com, you can really shop through many different auctions, and pick a state that maybe you're familiar with, and you can look at their next upcoming auction. I see properties selling for 4K. I actually know an investor who just won a property from the Philadelphia auction, but it's on bidforassets.com, and he got this property for 6K, and the property's worth about 150, and it's in pretty good condition. Yeah. So I'm definitely looking at putting some of my money towards getting more properties through the auction for sure. Anybody that's interested in it, just check that site out. I'm all into auctions right now. I just won a boat for $500. I'm so weird.
A boat?
Of course I would have a boat, right? Yeah, just random. My neighbors hate me. I want a boat. I was like, you know what? I've always wanted a boat. It's a dream of mine. Like long term, I just want a house that's oceanfront. I want my trailer. I want my boat. I may want a goat. I'm not sure. We'll see. If I can get the goat on the boat, then I'm with it.
On the boat. You
That'd
are
be
the
Yeah.
goat on the boat. You go on the boat, and you are the goat on the boat.
Thank
There
you.
you
I
go.
appreciate that.
So
So
You guys ever seen Tom Brady on a boat?
no.
on the boat, right? There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Colleen, going back to the time where you felt like it was a scam when you were cashing that check, how important do you think that was to your career?
Oh, it was everything. It was just realizing, like, you know what I think it is too? It's mindset, right? So many of us think we don't deserve good things, or everything is too good to be true. And we're kind of looking at things like, oh, well, it's working for them, but will it work for me, or is this real? And it's kind of like you have to change your mindset. You have to know, like, yeah, I'm worthy of these things. I'm worthy of great things. Because I think for me, it was like a lot of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, even though I know I am. But something in my mind was telling me, like, I'm just not good enough for this. But that wasn't the case. And sorry, we got a little echo. But in that moment, it was a great feeling to not get arrested when I was cashing that check. And then I felt silly afterwards. I'm like, why did I even not believe this was real? Everybody is posting their checks like it is not some kind of group conspiracy. This is real, right? People are quitting their 9 to 5s. People are making this their main source of income, and it's a beautiful source. So I'm glad that happened, but I felt silly. And then after that, I had no fear. And then I went from checks to wires. So now it's just like, checking my app to see when that wire hits.
Love it. I think that's like one of the biggest things because you hear everybody saying, yeah, once you do that first deal, they start coming in like crazy. But I
Mhm.
think it really has to do with the proof of concept. Um, and the fear is over. It's like, oh, wait, this is real. And the confidence starts coming in. And
Yeah,
then boom, 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 contracts just start coming in. So I love it.
absolutely.
So, Colleen, after your first deal, you did like what, like 3 deals, right? Your first year?
No, we did 42 deals in the first year. It started out slow. So
I
we
wish
were
I
doing,
had, I wish I had a Brent Daniels bell right now, so I could
I
do
know, bro. I swear I was thinking about
we were, you know what it was? Honestly, it was thinking outside the box. So I got banned from the marketplace early on. So those first few deals, they got sold on the marketplace. Everything's going great. I'm so happy. And then I posted the property and some lady kept writing scam, scam, scam under it. Go to her page. I realized she sells cat food. I'm like, bitch, what are you doing? Stay in your catty lane. And she got me banned. So from that moment on, I was completely banned from the marketplace. And for me, that was my main source of buyers, right? I was not tapped in with all these other resources. I just thought marketplace, Craigslist, or that's what you got to do. So when I got banned, I'm like, what am I going to do? I have deals. I need to get them going. I got to do something. So I started working on building my Instagram. In my mind, I was going to be like Mitt, like how Mitt posted that property that I bought right off of his story. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to post properties and have people buy it right away. So I started paying for promotions and my page started to grow. I did get a couple buyers from there, but then I was looking at other influencers. Well, at that time, I think I only had 10 followers. It was very, very, very new to me. But I was looking at other influencers who are in the real estate space, and I thought to myself, hmm, maybe they can sell my deals for me and make a profit. So I started targeting a few influencers. Some were like, what the hell are you talking about? But one in particular that had a large real estate platform, a large amount of followers, he was very intrigued by the idea. I said to him, here, I have a tenant occupied property for $15,000. You could sell it because you could sell it at 30 all day. Let's just try it out. If it doesn't work, sorry, I wasted your time. But if it does, let's make a bunch of money together. So we went out to dinner and he posted it on his Instagram. And in 30 seconds, his phone was ringing and he had the property sold. And he was like, okay, what's next? Send him the next property. And he did the same thing. So that's where the majority of the 42 deals went. Outside of him, I probably only sold, I don't know, 5 to 10 without him out of the 42. So he was making a lot of money in the process. He made around $700,000 last year dispoing those deals. So it was a win-win for him. So yeah, I definitely thought outside the box. So that's how I was able to do the 42. I think if I didn't have him to move them as quickly as he was moving them, I might have only done maybe 20, 25. So that's just what helped me, just thinking outside the box on that
See,
one.
I don't think that part's true, what you just said, because from what I'm hearing and from our conversation so far, you're you're a hustler, right? You go get it, right? You
Yeah.
figure it out. any type of way. So I think you would have figured something else out as well. So I wouldn't say that about yourself.
You're making me get mushy. Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
am a
just find
hustler.
somebody
Like
else.
I hang out at Home Depot, y'all. I got my flyers. Like I go right up to people. I got all my properties on my flyers. I roll right up to the contractors and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you buy properties?" And just I'll make them laugh. I'll start a conversation and I just make sure that people know what I'm doing and hey, here's some debt-free real estate, right here for you. Jump on this. I'll even have I'm crazy. I'll even have crackheads pass out my flyers. It doesn't really cost me much. Um, $20, and they're already at the light, right? So they're hanging out at the light. They're shaking the cup.
That's
You got the cardboard sign. So I'll park across the street in the McDonald's parking lot so I can watch them, and I'll give them 100 flyers, and I'll watch them for an hour, like pass those flyers out to each car. So my ultimate dream with everything, I
Wait,
want
hold
to
on,
be
hold on. What are they? What is it saying on those flyers? Like, what's the ad?
So it'll say investment properties under 30K, and it'll have three different properties on there with the picture of the properties, big, beautiful homes, and the amount that they're on sale for. So, for instance, we have one flyer right now that says, invest into real estate, no credit checks needed. And especially in the Philly area where I'm passing these flyers out, there's people that have 10, 20K cash, but they might not have good credit, right? They might not want to go through a realtor, get a loan. So on those flyers, it'll have my website, my phone number, my Instagram QR code, because the more followers, the better. And yeah, so it'll just have my name and the pictures of the properties. So one flyer we have now has a property on there, big, beautiful house, $12,000. It has that number on there. So actually, just before this, somebody called me. He was like, "I got your flyer at Home Depot." I'll tuck it in between stuff. So like say somebody's buying nails, they pick up the nails. Oops, surprise, there's a flyer. I'll put it in the aisle at Walmart. Every Walmart aisle, I will zip right through there and I will put it in the aisles where the magazines are. So instead of them looking at a magazine, they're looking at my flyer. They're looking at my properties. I do it in Target too. Don't get me to Atlantic City because yeah, I'm like everywhere in the casino. I'm in the high rollers room. Hey,
You
let's
see what I'm saying? Like
buy
You
you
real
are a
estate.
damn hustler.
hustler, right? You figure it out. So,
Mhm.
and I honestly think you getting kicked off a marketplace was the best thing to happen to you because,
Yeah.
as you saw, was a bunch of trollers and wholesalers who are just going to waste your time, right? So
Mhm.
you to find other ways to find buyers, and I think that's awesome. And we were talking about that on your live. Um, so when did you go from doing like straight auctions to joining Mitt's class, and how do you think that benefited you? Because I know Mitt is awesome. Mitt is the shit. I haven't met him in person yet, but like following him on Instagram, following a bunch of his students on Instagram, I learned a lot from him as well, just from seeing what I see on social media. Right.
I
So
would literally wrestle a bear from it.
yeah.
I adore Mitt. Like I met Mitt for the first time just a few months ago at his birthday party, or a month ago now. Yeah, Mitt is just such an incredible human being. Like Mitt does not have to give as much as he does and as much value as he does. Like think about this. I paid $4.99 for his course. Mitt never once asked me for more. Like never once tried to upsell me. And I'm sure you experienced that with Pace. Like they're just real people, right? So Mitt is I owe everything to Mitt. His course really changed my life. I know you probably hear people say that, but no. Like Mitt's course, I was in a Section 8 apartment. I was in a two-bedroom Section 8 apartment for 10 years before I took Mitt's course. And then after Mitt's course, we are in a big, beautiful house now. Like my backyard is the size of a football field. Like Mitt changed so much for me. It wasn't that I was completely broke. I'm a hustler, right? I had to be poor on paper. But the doors that Mitt opened up, it was like, because of me being in a wheelchair, right? Paralyzed in a wheelchair, my health insurance is so crucial to me. I do go into the hospital a couple times a year. And that could be very expensive. So I was always very grateful for that government insurance, but it keeps you in a box, right? You got to stay poor. Like to have that, you have to stay poor. But taking Mitt's course, it just changed so much. Like my mind, it's just a full transformation. It's not just the course, the coaching calls, it just changes your entire mindset. Like nothing has been the same for me. When I was in that apartment, being in a wheelchair, it wasn't handicap
Talk about
accessible.
Airbnbs.
Yet my husband used to have to carry me from the hallway in order for me to get into the tub. It just, when the elevators broke, we were on the sixth floor. I would have to sleep in my car or go sleep at a hotel, and the apartment building would be like, "Well, we're not reimbursing you. That's on you." Like that, yeah. So to
Wow.
get out of that situation, I omit so much. I would do anything for, like, I would literally wrestle a bear for Mitt. He's the man. But taking his course, once I took that course, it was like everything came together because I was trying to figure out wholesaling through YouTube, right? I watched somebody's video and they explained driving for dollars. And even with going to the auctions, I was driving for dollars and I was looking for properties with no contracts, right? I just knew that if I found some abandoned properties and I wrote a letter to the sellers, somehow I can turn this into a deal. So I was doing a lot of that before I took Mitt's course. Not even just the auction properties. I was just driving all the time. And I did get a hold of some sellers, and I'm so mad because there were some deals that I could have made 100K off of. But me at that time, studying at YouTube University, I didn't know how to structure the deal, right? I had the gift of gab. I talked a few sellers into, letting their property go for low. One in Kensington that's worth 300K today. The seller was going to give to me for $23,000. I should have kept it for myself, but I didn't know how to structure contracts. I didn't know none of that. But then Mitt's course, it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow, so that's how you do it? Like that, wait a second, wait a minute. So I don't have to be a realtor. I don't have to have experience, but I can send this agreement out, and the agreement's so simple. And I could get that signed and I can assign that to a bot. Like it blew my mind. So Mitt's course, man, Mitt is the man. It just did everything for me. And then once I had that knowledge, it was like I didn't want to hang out with anyone. I didn't want to see any. I lost 4 friends. Like I did 42 deals, but I lost 4 friends in that first year. I don't miss them. And I'm not trying to be rude, but this is for me, right? This is for me, for my family. For so many years, it was always for somebody else. It was always me helping this friend out. It was always me listening to this friend's bullshit about her cheating boyfriend. She's never going to leave, right? I felt physically uncomfortable in those conversations. I knew that I wasn't supposed to be in that space, but I felt obligated to be there because of the amount of time I was friends with people. But taking Mitt's course immediately, one of the first things he talks about is your year of no, your year of turning everything down that doesn't help you accomplish your goals, saying no to the bridal showers, the baby showers, even funerals, and locking in. And that's exactly what I did. Like, Mitt changed my entire mindset, and my life has not been the same since. I did lose 4 friends, but I've gained probably about 10 mastermind friends that only want to talk about plays and not people. So for me, I made out better.
So there's a few things that I want to hit on because we're not going to let you just brush over because the Facebook comments are going a little crazy over there. We're not going to let you brush over the fact that you did all of this, you hustling like you are now in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I got
Deals
chills.
on wheels. Deals on wheels. That's what I refer to myself. Deals on wheels.
That is insane.
Yeah, when I was 25, I was doing my thing. I was running my business, was getting money, right? Wasting it on clothes and clubs and all that stuff. But I had a nice car and a nice house, and I got shot. I got shot. Somebody shot me. After they shot me, they immediately stole my car, and I was paralyzed. Well, I was in a coma. First, I was in a coma for 2 months. When I woke up from the coma, I couldn't accept it. Like they kept telling me, like I was trying to get up, and I couldn't get up. They had me tied down to the bed because I had to undergo major surgery. So the bullet hit my collarbone, it bounced around inside my body, it went through my lung, and it hit my spine. When it hit my lung, I died twice on the way to the hospital. They had to cut me open and they had to put in chest tubes. And they actually had to cut out half of my right lung, which was a serious surgery. There were several times in that first month they told my family, like, make arrangements. She's not going to make it. Like, she's not doing good. If we take her off this ventilator, she'll die. They had to put a trachea in for me to be able to breathe. So when I woke up, they had me tied down. The nurse kept trying to tell me, you can't walk. And I'm like, why would you say that? And I would get really upset and I would start freaking out, and they would hit me. They would hit me with something, a dose of something, knocked out. Wake up again, like deja vu, like, wait, where am I? They would have to explain it again. So this went on for like a week before they finally got me calm enough to break that news to me and I could really grasp it. And then I was just shocked. I was like, what do you mean? I was the most independent person I knew. Growing up, my dad died when I was 8. He died in prison. My mom was really bad on drugs. I got taken away from her at 10. So from 10 to 18, well, 10 to 14, I lived with my sister's dad, but that was a bad situation, a lot of abuse there. And then 14 to 18, I was in group homes and foster homes. When I turned 18, I left in the middle of the night. I was on my own. I got my own apartment and I never looked back. So I always operated with, I don't want to ever need anybody, right? It's just me. I'm all I got. Like, there was times where I went to sleep hungry, being 18 and on your own and not having a mom to go home to, a dad to call, nobody at all. I had nobody. I just had myself. I was working a part-time job that barely paid my rent, and it was just horrible. There was days where I just had $1 to eat. That was my budget for the day. I would go get French fries from the Chinese store, and I would drink water out of the sink. So that made me the hustler I am. That 100% made me who I am. After that, like, I would lay in that little room, like I was renting a room above a corner store. It was there was rats in there, mice. Oh my God, there was no heat, no air conditioner. It was horrible. It was horrible. My friends would still show up though. I loved them to death. They would still come hang out in my hot little box. But I would lay there every night and I would just imagine a life where I had a BMW and I had my own house and I had a lot of clothes, because that was something I didn't have. People would make fun of me, my stuff, and I wore the same stuff all the time. So I would imagine that life and I would just really fixate on it, like just what it felt like driving that car. And sure enough, all that came true. All that happened for me. My friend told me about the service she was working for and all the fees she was paying. She was a dancer and then she was an escort. And I'm like, well, why do you pay that agency all those fees? And she said, well, they do my advertising. I don't know how to do the advertising. And that's one thing I did know. I did know a little bit stuff. Like, I'm not really tech savvy, but I could definitely go down to the paper and put an ad in for the girls. So I just did it. I saved up, I think the first ad was like $40. So that was tough, but I hustled up the 40. I put the ad in and yeah, it was just blowing up. And then next thing I knew, I wasn't in that situation anymore. I went from that one room above that corner store with the rats and the mice to, driving that BMW I used to dream about, to having that house with a backyard in the suburbs, to having a new outfit every day and taking trips, and basically financial freedom. Like, I was never hungry again. So from that point, I promised myself I will never go back to that. Like, I would never go to sleep hungry again. I'm always going to hustle. I'm always going to do what I have to do to make sure I'm straight. So I think that helps with my hustle. So when I woke up from the coma, of course, that first day I'm super upset. I'm like beside myself. I'm still on the ventilator. I'm still got tubes attached to me, and they tell me I can't walk again. Well, one of the first things I said when I could talk was, give me my laptop. I got work to do. So they brought me up my laptop, and just, at that point, we weren't running ads in the city paper anymore. I'm running ads on Craigslist. I got 4 different drivers driving women around 3 different states. I have a whole team waiting for me to get back to work. So I
Man,
could either, I had 2 choices. It was fold or get the fuck to work. I got the fuck to work because nobody's going to take care of me. And I had people depending on me. So I think that's where my hustle comes from. That's how I was able to survive that incident. That first year was really tough because even though I was hustling, I lost everything in those 2 months. I woke up to no car. I woke up to no house. My younger brother, who's a piece of shit, he robbed my house. He stole my TVs. He stole my cash. Of course, being younger, my money wasn't in the bank. It was all in a drawer. He took everything. I woke up to nothing at all. I didn't even have my dog anymore. I woke up to realize that they got rid of my dog. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm really just starting over. So that first year was really tough. Not having anything, I actually had to go live in a nursing home because I had literally nothing and nowhere to go. So I grinded my way out of there. I saved. I was in the nursing home. The staff was like, what the fuck is she doing? I was up all night. I'm like, I'm working. I'm working. I was booking calls all night long from that nursing home. They eventually kicked me out, which was a blessing. And then my sister was like, you shouldn't have to pay full rent. You're disabled. So she got me housing, which was a great gift. It was amazing. I was like, wow, I'm so used to paying so much rent. Like, this is beautiful, $100 a month. Like, this is great. And then I got pregnant, and it was like, what? Had my son, got married. Me and my husband, he stuck with me through everything. Even though I was like, leave, go live your life. You shouldn't have to deal with this. He stayed by my side. So life was pretty good, but I felt like we could do more. I wanted more for my family. I wanted to be able to retire my husband. I hated seeing him going back to forth to work. Then he would come home. He would help out with me. So I just wanted to be able to retire him and just do more for the fam.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
I digress. I go on and on. I'm sorry, y'all.
I
No,
have
I've had the chills for like 10 minutes.
yo, I have goosebumps right now.
Like, yo, that's a crazy story. That
Thank
is
you,
so
God.
crazy.
and honestly, you're an angel, right? Like you can't tell me that you don't know God personally, right? Like, you have to know God to
Oh
go
yeah.
and to be able to still go as hard as you go. That's just amazing right there. Like, I just like Mike said, I have goosebumps right now. And if anybody watching, if that doesn't motivate you to go 10 times harder than what you're going right now, then you're not doing it right. You must have not been paying attention, because oh my God, I'm speechless. I'm
Oh
speechless.
my God, you guys are amazing. I appreciate that so much. It was really, really hard to adjust to everything. The pain, right? Being in pain all the time. I'm like, I'm paralyzed. Why do I feel pain? This is bullshit. And the doctor was like, yeah, unfortunately, some paralyzed people feel a lot of pain. Others feel none at all. I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm just like, what the hell's going on? But you gotta push through, right? I look at it like this. Anything I went through in life, and I've been through a lot of shit, I've made it through, right? So anything that comes up, it's like, I'm gonna get through this. Look at all this other shit I survived. I'm gonna make it through this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to get this surgery. So I went in 2014. Stem cells are legal here in the United States, the embryonic ones.
Mhm.
Bush made it illegal a while ago, and I think um, I think Biden was or no, Barack was definitely fighting for it. I don't know what the hell Biden's doing, but I went to India to get these embryonic stem cells. I had to live there for 2 months. It was scary at first, but it was great. My sister went with me, and I spent a lot of money on these stem cell treatments. Unfortunately, they said there was too much scar tissue on my spine, so I couldn't walk again. And it was really working for people I knew. They were walking with walkers, and I was like, shit, I will jog with a walker. I'll do anything. I'll bedazzle a walker. So I was excited about that. Disappointed when I came home and seeing that I didn't get the results I wanted. I was able to have more feeling and more movement, but I want to stand up. I want to run. I want to walk. So there's a new surgery that I'm interested in, and I've been nervous this year about it. I haven't really, I don't know you know what I think it is? I think that God is going to do it for me. I think that I really don't even need the surgery. I've gotten so much movement back. But there's a part of me that's like a little unsure. So I am definitely looking into this surgery. They put a chip into your spine and it's available in 4 different countries. Um, and they put this chip in and it's all electronical and people are standing up. They are walking again. And I've spoken to some of the patients and they give me the real and yeah, it is something amazing. So I will definitely keep you posted on that, though. I'll let you know how my journey turns out. But I never give up. I stay pretty optimistic. You know, you have to, because like life is so short. Do you want to be miserable? I hate seeing people that are miserable all the time. And I understand everybody's circumstance is different. Maybe you got a shitty situation at home. Maybe you had a shitty life. But now it's up to you. Like you have the choice. I can wake up every day and be a bitch, or I could wake up and be a boss. Like make the decision. Do you want to be bitter? Like you're not going to get great wealth or success off of being a bitter bitch. You could be a leader. You could be positive. You cannot dwell on the bullshit, and you could push through because I don't want to be on my deathbed thinking, "Damn, I was miserable this whole time." Like I don't want that.
That's so real. And I tell people that all the time, right? And I guess it's just different. I hope they get it when they hear you say it.
Yeah, please get it now if you're listening. Like,
right. Like I say to people when they're like, "Oh, you're an asshole, right? You're not empathetic, right?" But like you can really make a choice, right? After everything that Colleen has been through. I mean, we've only had a couple conversations, right? But every time I see you, you're super happy, you're super energetic, you're the light in the room, right? And you could be the total opposite from what you've been through. And it's just so inspiring, so amazing to see you like that and see that you made that choice. And I think you should get that printed on the shirt. You could be a bitch or you could be a boss. Right.
Oh, I smell new merch coming from this
That
group.
was a bar that you dropped.
so Daryl was telling me about you, Colleen, before we hopped on. He's like, yeah, this chick is a badass. She is paralyzed and absolutely crushing deals. Right. And when we were first having our conversation this morning, I'm like, this chick isn't paralyzed. There's no way. Just from your energy and everything that you were portraying, I could feel it through the freaking computer. Like, you're just crushing life. That's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
I wish you could see the comments on Facebook. Like they're really going crazy. Like you really lit a fire into so many people today. And then so many people, this is going to be on YouTube forever, right? So this is amazing. I'm so grateful to have you on here today.
Likewise.
I'm so grateful that you brought me on here. And anybody listening, listen, just go for it, right? Are you gonna let the chick in the wheelchair out trap you? You gonna let me get more deals than you? Why?
Right.
Why are you gonna do that? If I could get 42 deals in my first year, so can you. I have a lot of people come to me like, Colleen, what are you doing? It's been 6 months. I don't have one deal. I'm just taking action. That's it. I'm taking action every single day. It's not a hobby to me. This is a lifestyle. So
100%.
yeah, just take action. Go for it, right? If I could do it, he could do it, he could do it. We can all do it. So just go for it. I'm not somebody with like a crazy college education. I have no realtor experience, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So you can do it too.
And it's crazy because I feel like all of the most successful people, they have that story, right? Where some are worse than others, but a lot of us have gotten broken down to nothing, right? Where our back's against the wall, and it's like it's either you do this or you're on the street, motherfucker, right? You don't got nothing,
Right.
right? So that's just amazing. Like and you have to make that choice, right? You have to make that choice to either hold it or fold or go to the top, right? And you made that choice and you're still going. What is just curious, what does your business look like now?
Oh man, it is busy, busy. So I have my two virtual assistants. We're a small team, but we do a lot. They're amazing. They're everything to me. I love and adore them. Like we operate not just as a team, but almost as a family, and they're just everything. Like I love them. My one VA's birthday is on Monday, and I send her something nice. She says everything to me. But yeah, so we do all types of ways that we get deals. Of course, once you build your brand up on social media, me and Daryl were talking about how deals will kind of just come to you. So I do have deals that come to my inbox, but we do a lot of cold calling. So we're on the dialer. They both work full time. They will do the cold calling. They will put those leads together. Now, if I'm tied up, if I let them know, like, hey, I have this going on today. If you have any potential leads that it's good and they're very good with the numbers and you have them on the phones, make that offer. So they will send contracts, they will make offers if need be. I do like to talk to the clients though. I love to build that rapport and kind of build a friendship because multiple deals will come out of that. Like when you sit on the phones and actually talk to the sellers, not rush through things and build that bond up, we get a lot of multiple deals from like we might have been calling about one property, but it'll turn into three or four or five. We do a lot of. I love postcards too. Postcards are my jam. I get a lot of deals from postcards, so I will do postcards on PropStream. I will target weird areas because if I have specific buyers that are like, hey, I just need something under 20K. I don't care where it is. Oh, okay. Say less. So now I'm on PropStream zooming in on weird little areas and I'm finding those deals. But now we're kind of we're always going to have the deals under 20 because I love being able to offer people home ownership, right? Maybe somebody that, doesn't have the credit, doesn't want to even go down that route. But here's a property for 10K that you could put 2,500 in and you could rent out. I love being able to do that. Like it's a good feeling when I have a buyer that's a first time buyer. And I watch them, like I just watched somebody rehab this property I gave in for 20K. Now the value's at like 150. And I watched that entire process and it's just a really good feeling. Like people get really excited when they can have that investment property. So we're still going to do deals under 20K. I want to always have that available for people that are just getting started in real estate. But now we've kind of shift our focus a little bit. We're looking for more deals in Philly, and Philly, everybody knows that market is crazy. Also, too, we're doing more of looking for more creative things. And now we're going to be looking for subject to deals. But I just structured my first creative deal and we're getting ready to close out on that. That took forever because, that seller, I did dispo 5 properties for him out of the 7 property package deal. That came off of one postcard that cost me 58 cents or 53, I forget at the time, but one postcard to the seller. Sorry, somebody was calling. I sent one postcard for 53 or 58 cents on PropStream. One postcard turned into 7 deals. I sold 5 of the 7, and now there's 2 left with the seller. One he's giving to me creative finance. I'm going to do a quick flip on that one. We're just going to get in there. We'll put the new carpet in. We'll do the little minor repairs, and we're going to sell it. Pay off that seller what he wanted, and then we're putting the rest in our pockets. And then we're on to the next. So he has another property that I really have my eyes on, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, big, beautiful property. So I'm excited to get that deal for my next creative deal. But yeah, we're trying to switch things up, right? I'm always trying to learn and grow. There's so much I don't know. So I'm constantly trying to educate myself and just do what's best for my team.
I love that. I love that. So you're joining us up too, right?
Yes, I need to be. Like it's long overdue.
Especially, I think, especially if like you love providing like affordable housing to families who really can't afford it, and they have the cash, they don't have the credit. I think sub 2 is a great place for you, right? Especially like we have so many different exit strategies, right? We're getting properties under contract. You can get a property that doesn't cash flow, and you can assign it, or you could wrap it to a family who can't get the financing, right? You can charge them a lower down payment, charge them monthly payments, and now you're the bank for them, right? So many different strategies to learn that isn't really on YouTube, and
Right.
I think it would be awesome for you to join the
Yeah.
community for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You cannot study at YouTube University and expect to make it. You need to learn from somebody that's really doing it and want to like just that hands-on, really be active in it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm excited about that to join that sub too. I'm gonna be throwing up the peace sign.
let's
Be
do
throwing
it.
up that peace sign.
Yeah, what you just said, I want to like get on the top of a building and scream it. Yo, stop trying to learn from YouTube. Yeah,
Word.
I'm going to listen to our podcast. That's cool. But this is more like an entertainment type of thing.
Entertainment, yeah.
Like, bro, you need to really go get in the trenches of somebody's business and figure it out.
Well, anybody that's not willing to invest in a course or a mentorship, it's kind of like they need to work on their mindset first because I'll definitely pay somebody that knows what they're doing to teach me.
Oh,
I
you
do
know what
not
it is?
want to, yeah, I don't want to figure that shit out on
You
my
know what
own.
it is? They don't believe in themselves,
Yep.
Yes, yep,
right? Like,
that's
realistically,
exactly what it is.
they mask it over saying, oh, it could be a scam. What if I don't get my money back? What if this guy doesn't teach me this or whatever? Realistically, it's like, no, I'm going to pay this and I don't believe in myself that I'm going to go make that money back. I just spent a lot of freaking money on a mentorship last weekend. And I was actually, to be honest, bro, this is crazy. Okay. So I spend the money on this this mentorship, and I didn't want to do it at first. And my girl was like, "Yo, you have to do it." I'm like, it's a lot of freaking money. I don't think I want to do it. I
That's a
ended
good
up
girl
doing
right there.
it. She's the best.
Yeah,
So I end up doing it, right? And I had like just I don't want to say resentment, but some weird feeling where I was like, damn, I just spent a lot of money. So the next morning, while I'm meditating, I'm having a conversation with the man above. And I asked him, I'm like, yo, why do I have this feeling? And I just heard this voice that told me, dude, you didn't believe in yourself. Like there was no belief in yourself. Like the money that I've spent on mentorship so far, sub 2, Paces Mastermind, like anything else I spent on, I've multiple X'd it. Like it's not even close. So
right.
why just because this was a bigger payment, why did I think that I can't go even bigger?
Yep.
And once I had that conversation, it was like a sense of relief lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, oh yeah, I was tripping. I know who I am.
100%.
Yep, yep. That self-doubt will try to I mean, I feel like it's the devil, right? When you're about to do something huge, you're gonna
Yo,
have
that's crazy.
yeah, like right in your ear, he's gonna come up, he's gonna create doubt. He's gonna make you feel like you're not good enough, you can't do it. But look, you are, right? You definitely are. So I think that's awesome. You got that mentorship. I'm excited to see how that because I can tell like it's gonna work out well for you. And I'm excited to hear about it, 3 months from now.
For sure. I can't wait. That's so crazy that you said that because I said that to my girl actually. I'm like, you know what I think that it was? I think there was a little devil on my shoulder that was trying to tear me down. And she was like, holy crap, I swear to God, I was going to tell you the same exact thing. So I think we're all on the same page. By the way, I think you and my girl should meet. You guys would love each other.
I would love that. I love that she pushed you into that mentorship. She's already a superhero to me because there's women out there that'll be like, oh, you're going to spend your money on that. But then they'll go buy a purse.
Right.
Like, bitch, please.
Right.
It's properties over purses, always.
Mm-hmm. And the purses from the properties.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So Colleen, I know you told me you got to get on the road today, so I don't want to hold you too long, but I'm so grateful for having you today. I know everybody watching was too. You have any words for anybody before we dip off here?
No, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm very grateful for you having me on here. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak and share my story. And anybody listening, if you have that fear, you're scared to, take action, you're thinking about it, follow people like us. We're actually doing it. And, that's it. Just take action. Just go for it. Go for it. There's nothing you can lose by taking a chance on yourself, right? Believing yourself, invest in yourself, get in those rooms, right? Pay for those mentorships. I just went to Real Estate Diddy's 2-day transformation. That was $3K. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. I feel like I owe him money. Definitely life changing for me and for my business. So, yep, show up in those rooms and take action. That's it for me. Thank you guys so much. I would love to come back sometime.
You
100%.
for sure are.
If you guys aren't following Colleen on Instagram, I don't know what you're doing, especially after today. Go ahead and follow Colleen. Is there anywhere else? Do you have like Facebook or anything? Is it just Instagram or TikTok?
I'm just I'm heavy on the IG. You know how Facebook feels about me.
Yeah.
So I got like 3 fake Facebook profiles, but yeah, don't worry about that. IG is where it's at.
Word.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
I
Thank you,
Talk
Colleen.
to you later.
Right.
Bye-bye.